everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Star Seed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com. Here to do your monthly angel card reading for October 2017. For this month's monthly reading, we're going to be using the Archangel Power Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine for the main message for everyone. Your special message card, depending on your stone of choice, will be coming from the Archangel Divination deck by Doreen Virtue. And I did pull one extra card that will be involved for everyone for the monthly reading, and that is from the Sirian Star Seed Tarot deck by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha. So let's start first by looking at your stones of choice for your special message card so you can decide which stone that you would like. So I want you to go on your intuition as far as what you feel is appropriate for you this month, what you're drawn to this month. Your first stone of choice is rose quartz. So the beautiful rose quartz, it's a pink energy. It deals with unconditional love, compassion. So this is love of self as well as love for other people. And it's associated with, of course, the heart chakra. So there's also emotional healing that's involved here with this stone. Your second stone of choice is selenite, and selenite is a white stone. It's clear, it's opaque, and it actually helps you to connect with the spiritual realm, with your angels and guides, and to receive messages of a prophetic nature, as well as to get in touch with past life and future lives. This, again, has a very high vibration to it. It helps to open up the crown chakra, to open up to that higher wisdom and guidance. Your last stone of choice is going to be amethyst. Now the amethyst is also, they're all high vibrational stones, but the amethyst is a stone of the crown chakra specifically. So again, we're opening up to higher guidance and wisdom. We are dealing with a sense of unconditional compassion and knowledge and wisdom with this stone. It's a great stone to help you with your dreams or your dream time. And it's got a very peaceful, calming, but yet kind of energizing as far as your spiritual senses and your goals and what you're working towards as far as your destiny path. So again, your stones of choice, we got the rose quartz, you got the selenite, or you have the amethyst. I'm going to set those aside here for a moment so I can have more room in front of me. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the astrology first for the month. Now, before we even get into the astrology, I do want to mention that from a numerological standpoint, October is a 20 vibration, a numerology of a 20, which reduces down to a 2. And the way we get that is because we're in a 10 universal year. 2017 adds up to a 10, and October is the 10th month of the year. So if we add the 10 plus the 10, that's where we get the 20. Now that lower vibration of the 2, when we add the 2 plus the 0 and we reduce it down to that single digit, the 2 is about compromise and diplomacy and peace and balance. It is about partnerships and relationships of all kinds. So this can be about romantic, business, friendship, family, partnerships and relationships. And to, again, focus on that idea of equality and balance within those relationships. Is there equal give and take going on? Is it one-sided? So, and therefore, it would be out of balance. So we're doing what we can to bring things back into balance, not only within relationships, but within ourselves. So this is going to include balancing the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies within yourself. The divine masculine energies, of course, are more assertive, and it's about taking charge, being a leader, making things happen. It's like being the creator of your own destiny. The divine feminine energies are more receptive, more intuitive, more flowing, more about unconditional love and compassion and peace and healing and caring for other people. And it's really, again, that receptive quality of being able to receive the blessings from the universe, to be able to wait for divine timing to take place, whereas that divine masculine wants to make its own timing and wants to, again, be that creator, manifester of its own destiny. So bring those two aspects of yourself back into balance this month. That's a big aspect of what this is. Now we also want to pay attention to the major arcana card that's associated with the number 20. And in the traditional tarot, it's called the Judgment card, but I pulled it out of the Sirian Star Seed Tarot. And in this deck, the major arcana 20 is labeled karma. And I thought that this was fitting for this month of October, because one of the things that's happening this month is that we have Saturn and Chiron coming back together into a close, challenging, square aspect with one another. It actually becomes exact on November 2nd, but we're going to feel that intensify through the month of October. And Saturn is what the ancient astrologers would call the Lord of Karma, but we call him the Great Teacher in modern astrology. So he's the teacher of lessons. And while Saturn is and has been in the sign of Sagittarius, he's been teaching us lessons about judgment, judging ourselves, judging our lives, maybe judging the circumstances around us, or maybe judging people around us as well. Saturn, again, is all about third dimensional lessons, and he takes his time. He's actually the ruler of time. A lot of times we call Saturn Father Time because he rules that third dimensional timing, which is slower. You know, it's not like just visualizing something in our third mind area and then having it magically appear like a lot of souls are used to from other planetary existences or from being in the spiritual realm. You know, we're used to things happening at a faster rate on different planes of reality. Here on the earth plane, things take time. And that's what causes a lot of frustration sometimes with people, is that aspect of time. So Saturn rules time, and again, it rules lessons, and it rules old karma. And this is karma not just from this lifetime, but previous lifetimes. And this can be good karma, or it could be not so good karma. A lot of times we think of it as, again, previous lifetimes where we had challenges, where we had lessons to learn, and maybe we didn't get all the way through those. Maybe we didn't learn what we were supposed to learn. And so we come back into this present incarnation and we kind of pick up where we left off to understand and learn what those are all about. Now, Chiron is about the wound that we carry from previous lifetimes. Chiron is the wounded healer. He was actually a shaman as far as mythology is concerned. He was someone who was an herbalist, so he actually helped to do a lot of healing on that kind of alternative healing level. Energy work, crystals, herbology, essential oils, that's all Chironian healing. Chiron is in Pisces right now and has been for a long time. He stays in a sign for a long time. And, you know, Chiron or Pisces is about the collective energy. So a lot of the healing that's been taking place with Chiron is on the collective level. And within ourselves, it's, again, bringing up all those past lives, because Pisces is the accumulation or culmination, if you will, of all the lifetimes that we've lived. It's like we have aspects of all those lifetimes, those gifts and talents and abilities, those challenges, you know, those personality characteristics that we've lived before. So with Chiron being about healing and about the wound that we carry forward from previous incarnations into this incarnation, and Saturn being about, again, lessons and learning and karma, as those two are coming together in a square aspect during this month of October, we're going to be feeling a lot of that come up to the surface so that we can release it. And some of that may come up in the form of a physical wound. It could be emotional wounds. It could be mental, mind level wounds. And it can be spiritual wounds as well. Now, we've had Saturn and Chiron going back and forth, connecting with one another since last fall. So, you know, if you can think back to October, November, and December of 2016, and then there was a time in the spring that I can't recall the specific month, but we had it come back together at that time as well. They've been taking turns going retrograde and direct, which is why they've been connecting more than one time. Now that Saturn has gone direct, Chiron is retrograde, again, we're going to have this exact connection on November 2nd, but we're going to feel it as it brings things up. And again, it really resonates to this Major Arcana 20, which is the Judgment card in traditional tarot, but it's, again, in this card labeled karma. And if you look, we see the lotus flower here of compassion. This is about having compassion, not just towards others or groups of others, but compassion towards ourselves. And again, Saturn in Sagittarius has been about karmic judgments. So we want to have that love for ourselves, that unconditional love and compassion for ourselves, because this is going to be what helps to erase or eliminate or transmute the karma. We also see what it looks like a heart in the middle of the ocean here. Again, that's symbolic of that unconditional love on the emotional level that we're having for ourselves, for each other, and for the planet, for humanity and the planet as a collective as well. So I feel like this is really fitting for the energy for that major arcana for the month. So let's go ahead and talk about the highlights in the month of October. Now, I'm not going to talk about all the astrology. That's for the weekly readings, but I do want to hit the highlights. So the first thing that's highlighted is that on October 5th, we have a full moon at 12 degrees of Aries. Now, we know full moons bring things to an intense kind of energy level. You know, whenever we have that full moon as it's waxing and growing bigger into its fullness, it creates a lot of emotion within us. You know, the moon is about our emotions and our feelings. So as the moon waxes and gets larger and comes into its fullness, it's making our emotions larger, so to speak. Now, this is an Aries, so Aries is a warrior kind of energy. It's assertive, it's leadership oriented, it's individualistic, it rules the individual, it rules our sense of self. So a lot of these energies are going to be expanding as we come into this full moon on the 5th. Now, this moon is also considered the harvest full moon, and that's because, again, in ancient times, this was the time that the farmers would reap the harvest of their crops. So if we look at that from a symbolic perspective, we're reaping the harvest of the seeds that we planted this past spring. So think back to this past spring. What intentions have you put out? What things have you been working on? What goals, what projects? And, you know, you can see now the fruits of your labor. You can see the harvest that starts to come in during this harvest full moon. Of course, after the full moon, the moon starts to wane, and so it then heralds in this releasing cycle that we will be going through for a couple of weeks after that full moon on the 5th. The next thing that seems to be important here that jumps out at me is on the 8th of October. This is when Saturn, that we've been talking a lot about here, is going to be in a positive connection with the North Node. The North Node is a destiny point. It rules what we're supposed to be working towards, aspiring towards, coming into as far as the energy is concerned. So this can be, again, on a personal level or on a collective level. And Saturn is a planet that helps to manifest and ground the energy. You know, Saturn naturally rules Capricorn in the zodiac, which is an earth sign. So again, it's got that very grounding effect to it. So whatever this is about, Saturn is going to help to manifest certain things that we're working towards as we approach the 8th of October. Okay, so again, even the first week of October, continue to work towards your dreams, your desires, your goals, because you might start to see things start to materialize when Saturn connects with that North Node on the 8th. And then we're going to go to the 10th of October, because this is when Jupiter, the planet of blessings, the planet that rules our belief systems, is moving out of Libra and into the sign of Scorpio. Now, Jupiter spends about a year in each sign of the zodiac. So it entered Libra last fall, and now again on the 10th of October, it's going to be leaving Libra and going into Scorpio, where it will be until the fall of 2018. Jupiter expands things, okay? Jupiter is that planet of expansion, the expansion principle. So now we're expanding into the energies of Scorpio. And what is Scorpio about? It's about transformation, transmutation, death and rebirth, regeneration. It's about the mysteries of life, the metaphysical aspects of life, the shadow side as well. So it can expand the shadow side, but let's shift our perspective, as Jupiter asks us to do, because it rules our belief systems. Let's shift that into expanding into the deep mysteries of life, having a deep understanding of how our psyche works. Again, going through this expansion principle of death and rebirth and transformation and transmutation, which is what we need to do in order to evolve and take the next step up in our evolution and growth as a soul. So I actually feel excited about this, but I like Scorpio energy. That's, you know, where my sun sign is. I'm a Libra, but it's in the 8th house, which is Scorpio's house. So I'm very comfortable with that energy. Some people may not be as comfortable with that energy. But again, look at it as an opportunity for a lot of deep soul growth to occur. Then on the 14th, Venus moves into Libra. And Venus is the planet that rules relationships, and it rules beauty and harmony. It rules finances and money. And it's going to be in its home sign, Venus in Libra. This is one of the home signs for the planet Venus. So she's going to be very comfortable there, and she shifts her focus more so to relationships. When Venus goes into Taurus, which is her other ruling sign, she focuses more on money and finances at that time. But Venus going into Libra is going to focus more on relationships, partnerships, whether they be of a romantic nature or a friendship nature or a business nature. It's just any kind of one-on-one association that we might have with other people. But again, there's this aspect of balance and harmony and beauty that's associated with Venus and Libra as well. Then on the 17th, we have Mercury moving out of Libra and into Scorpio. So Mercury joins Jupiter in the sign of Scorpio. And, you know, Mercury is the planet of the mind, the mental realm, our thoughts. And this is going to bring in, again, a depth of understanding of the ego mind. You know, we're going to start thinking more deeply, communicating more deeply about things that are really important, that matter to us in our lives. Then on the 19th, we have a new moon in Libra, the partnership sign, the relationship sign, balance and harmony. And then thereafter, we have the moon starting to wax and grow again, so that we can, again, plant seeds at that new moon of what we want to create in our lives. And a lot of that might be, again, around equality and justice, which is a Libra thing. And again, focusing on relationships in our lives. On the 22nd, Mars moves into Libra, okay? So now we have another planet moving into Libra as well. So this is, again, putting more energy towards, because Mars is about energy, momentum, or putting forth energy. So we're putting forth energy more so now towards, again, relationships and keeping things in a balanced and a harmonious state. On the 23rd, the sun moves into Scorpio, as it does every year around that time. And I think that's about it as far as the highlights of the month. But again, that biggest thing is Saturn squaring Chiron, that we're going to feel intensify throughout the month until it comes to an exact connection with one another on November 2nd. So let's take a look at what our angels and guides have to say through the cards. Now, I did already meditate, and I chose 3 cards from the Archangel Power Tarot deck. So let's turn over the first one and see what the card is. Okay, we start out actually very strongly with Major Arcana number 8 and the Justice card. And it's actually Archangel Raphael. It says at the bottom, fight for justice and equality. And we were just talking about that Libra justice and equality. It says, rulings are made in your favor and don't give up. So this is a really good card to start with. This is, to me, whenever I, think about justice or see the Justice card, I think about owning our power. This is about empowerment. So empower yourselves, step into your power, release any disempowering situations, release disempowering relationships, release disempowering thoughts that you might have about yourself or about your life. And Archangel Raphael is actually an archangel. He's like the counselor, diplomat, lawyer kind of angel, and that's why it says rulings made in your favor, fighting again for justice and equality. So you could actually be in a situation right now that you're trying to, again, empower yourself, or maybe empower other people as well as yourself to get that sense of justice that you're all seeking. And this card is signifying that things are going to come out in your favor. This is kind of about the scales of justice, often in this card. And even in this card, you can see Archangel Raguel holding the scales of justice here. So if you're trying to empower yourself or empower others and you're doing the right thing, you're going to see the scales of justice start to rebalance themselves and things turning out more favorably. So things are going to, again, start to unfold more favorably in regards to empowerment issues. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second card and see what that says. Okay, this is another good card. This is the Six of Michael. And in the traditional tarot, it is the Six of Swords. And out of all the swords in the tarot deck, the Six of Swords is one of the more positive ones for sure. And at the bottom, it says, it's the light at the end of the tunnel. What can be better than that? It's the light at the end of the tunnel. Breathe a sigh of relief and make new plans. And then it can also be about relocation or travel. It's often, we have a boat here that the Archangel Michael is in the boat there. So it can be about travel. Now, it can be about traveling with your mind too, coming up with new and brilliant ideas, having visualizations, kind of going into that lucid dreaming kind of thing. But it can actually indicate a relocation or travel that's happening as well. So again, this is a very positive card as far as information coming in, new ideas coming in, and it's very positive. The thoughts, the ideas, the communications are in a very balanced, positive manner. That number 6 is a number of balance. It actually relates to the Merkaba, or an upward pointing triangle with a downward pointing triangle, which intersects as a Merkaba, or Star of David. And again, that brings in that sense of as above, so below, and balance with things. I really like this as saying that it's the light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like the Saturn squaring Chiron this month might be a little challenging and tough, but this is saying again that we have justice coming, equality is coming, things are going to go our way, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So just move through any challenges and know that we're going to get to the other side of them very soon. Let's see what the last card is. Okay, the last card is the Eight of Raphael. This is the suit of cups from the original tarot, or the traditional tarot, I should say. The Eight of Raphael says at the bottom, there is something better waiting for you. I love it. There is something better waiting for you. Do what you know is right for you. A spiritual quest. The first thing I heard when I read do what is right for you is don't necessarily listen to what everybody else is saying that they think you should do. It doesn't mean you can't talk to other people and get their ideas and opinions or get their feedback, but it does mean that you really need to listen to your heart. This is the suit that deals with the emotional realm and your heart chakra. So really listen to or feel what is right for you, not what other people think is right for you or that you should do. But again, feel what's right for you. And here we have that number 8 again. The number 8 is about empowerment. And here, we had the major arcana number 8. Now we have another 8 here. So this is really going to be a month of empowering yourself, stepping into your power. This is stepping into your power on the emotional level, which again means releasing all situations or energies that are disempowering. Again, mostly things on the emotional level. So old emotions, old feelings, old circumstances and situations to where there's an emotional connection. It's time to release those and let them go and walk forward and empower yourself. Again, there's something better waiting for you. This often means in the traditional tarot that you're leaving something behind in search for something better, okay? So this seems like a really positive reading here as we're going throughout the month of October. Now, I wanted to pull a special card I mentioned in the beginning of this video from the Sirian Star Seed Tarot, just like where our major arcana number 20 came to signify that numerology vibration for the month. I chose one card also from this deck because of the Saturn squaring Chiron. I felt like Saturn square Chiron is a big time period for immense and intense healing for us, and I wanted to kind of get just a special message card just for that. So let's see what the card is. Let's turn it over here. Whoa. Okay, this is really interesting because, okay, so we just ended with the 8 of Raphael, which is the 8 of Cups. And believe it or not, the card that came up from the Sirian Star Seed Tarot is the 8 of Chalices, which is the 8 of Cups. So this is a really important message. Now in this card you can see that there's a figure that's walking away. He's on a beach next to the ocean, walking away from these 8 cups. And you can see that the cups are in various shades. You know, here we have a really bright cup all the way down to a darker cup. So there's various aspects here of our emotions that we're releasing and letting go. Again, the traditional meaning is to walk away from disempowering circumstances, to release and let go all that you no longer need, again, mostly on an emotional level, or things, you know, situations or relationships that there's an emotional connection, that you're looking for something deeper, you're looking for something more meaningful, you're wanting something more. And this card is really an important message since it came up twice in this monthly reading, okay? So there's going to be a lot of the healing of disempowering energies with that Saturn squaring Chiron this month. So before we run out of time here, as I'm looking at the timing on the video, we want to make sure we get your special message card. So the rose quartz was the first stone that I showed, so we're going to give our Archangel deck a little shuffle, and this one kind of started to fall out. Okay, this is Archangel Uriel. You know what to do. And it says, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. This is kind of a similar message to that 8 of Raphael message where it says, do what you know is right for you. And this one says, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. You know what to do. So rose quartz people, again, go within, meditate, contemplate, get out in nature, you know, be by yourself in silence, take a relaxing sea salt bath, whatever you need to do to kind of connect with your inner guidance and listen to what that inner guidance is telling you. You can call in Archangel Uriel. He helps with those flashes of insight, messages that come in like a flash of knowingness or insight, very much related to claircognizance. And he's going to help you with what to do. If something just kind of comes into your mind, an idea, or you're trying to decide between 2 different things and one thing keeps kind of coming in or popping in, that's what you should listen to. Again, listen to your inner guidance and act without delay. Okay, for those of you that chose the Selenite was the next one. This one's calling my attention. Selenite people, healthy lifestyle. And it says, Archangel Raphael, eat a healthful diet, get adequate sleep, exercise regularly for optimal health. What I'm feeling from this is that Saturn and Chiron square is going to bring some heavy-duty healing for you, and that because of that heavy-duty healing, it's going to bring up a lot physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. You're going to want to make sure you're eating higher vibrational foods to support this healing process. Getting more sleep than usual to support this healing process. Listen to what your body needs and wants and doesn't need or doesn't want. I feel like this healing process of Saturn with Chiron is very, very important for you. So make sure you're taking care and self-nurturing, doing things that are good for you. Getting, again, extra meditation time, getting out in nature, going out and taking a peaceful walk, getting by a lake or an ocean or a river to just kind of allow yourself to breathe. I feel like breathing is going to be very good, and that relaxation and self-care and self-nurturing is really good for you this month. For those of you that chose the Amethyst, let's give this a shuffle. This one's calling my attention, Amethyst people. Clairvoyance. And this is Archangel Raphael. I am helping your spiritual sight to awaken fully so you can clearly see heavenly love. So this is about, again, getting pictures, you know, visualizations. Clairvoyance is clear seeing. So you're actually able to kind of see what things might look like or get that image or vision of where you need to go next. Now, some of you may say, well, I'm not clairvoyant. I don't see like that. I'm not psychic like that. This can actually be using your vision powers, okay? So in meditation, visualize and envision your goals or desires coming to fruition. Visualize like what you want to do, where you want to go, where you want to be, how you want to be, how you want to act. You know, visualize. Visualize is clairvoyance, and that's going to bring you and help manifest what your desires are. I feel like you need to balance your chakras as well. Focus on the third eye of clear sight, clairvoyance, clear vision, but balance all of your chakras. I'm feeling like a balancing needs to take place here. And Archangel Raphael is an archangel that helps us with like spiritual, metaphysical concepts, higher wisdom, higher knowledge. So call him in for that higher wisdom, higher knowledge to come forth through your sense of psychic sight, if you will. So I hope you've liked this monthly angel card reading. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure you check out my website, sacredsoulempowerment.com, my Facebook pages, Colleen Lemma and Sacred Soul Empowerment, and of course other videos on my YouTube channel. Much love and light to all of you, and many, many angel blessings.